Time to nut up or shut up.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? All right, so Zombieland Double Tap takes place 10 years after the original that came out all the way in 2009. So we got a 10-year break of a sequel, guys. This was something that I don't think anyone saw coming, just because for this kind of a movie to have a sequel take this long to make, I think most people were kind of shocked, even though you're not shocked because the first one did do really good and a lot of people seem to enjoy it and liked it. So the fact that it took this long is a little kind of confusing, but hey, we got a sequel. Let's be happy. How was it? So Zombieland 2 wasn't as good as the first one. Pretty much most people are going to think that going into the movie. I thought it, but expectations and my hope is always for a movie to do better than its original, even though that really rarely happens. It does happen, but hey, I'm optimistic and I like to think the best and I want things to succeed that I liked. So Zombieland, very fun movie. People loved it. People enjoyed it. It's gross. It's humorous. It's horror. It's sci-fi. It's action, comedy. It had a really cool, unique, stellar ensemble cast. So I was looking forward to this. I actually didn't see much advertisement for Zombieland 2, so that was a little bit of a worrying concern to me. But hey, you know what? Maybe I just missed it. So here we are. Zombieland, like I said, takes place 10 years from the original, or at least where we left at the end of the first one. And it finds our four heroes just trying to figure out how to continue on, how to survive in this post-apocalyptic land. What do you do? Well, I guess the best thing to do is go to the heartland of America. That's right, they move into the White House. So that was kind of a really cool idea, I feel like, where it's like, hey, if you had this whole country at your disposal and there was no rules, no, buddy gonna harm or come after you except zombies, what would you do? Where would you go? And you know what? The White House does seem like a bit of a cool idea. So that's where they go. Cliche was this movie, I would say totally predictable. Yes, but there are, I would say, at least a couple or two parts that I was like, oh, didn't see that coming. All right, props there, a little twist. So I did appreciate that. There were some really cool, fun cameos, I have to admit, where certain characters mirrored other characters, and I really liked that idea and concept, and the movie knew what it was doing and knew what it was, and it just took itself not too seriously, but at the same time stayed as best it could true to the core of the story and these characters that we liked in the first one. So the movie basically is Little Rock, the youngest out of the four main, heroes of the movie. She basically finds a boyfriend, or thinks she found a boyfriend, or a guy that she liked, and she takes off with him to this unknown land called Babylon, which is basically a utopia for Earth with this zombie land. A place of safety, a place of no rules, no laws, no regulations, and no guns, which is kind of crazy, but hey, what are you going to do? They're all a bunch of hippies, so go figure. So it finds our heroes, Wichita, Tallahassee, Columbus, out to go get their little sister, whatever you want to call her. That's basically how I looked at it. They are family. And it's a rescue mission, basically. And they find people along the way. They find this brand new character that is introduced to us. Her name is Madison. She's this typical 90s blonde chick that is a valley girl. And I was kind of shocked that they put her in this movie, but they did. She was the cringe-worthy part of this movie. She was the part where I was like a little shocked that they actually wrote this character in the movie. She did have a couple moments that were actually funny, and she is actually the part of the movie that was a twist that I kind of saw it coming, but not in the way it ended up, which was, I guess, kind of a good thing. If you like happy endings, kind of a deal. But yeah, I mean, she was definitely the most cringeworthy parts, and I'm not talking about gore. I'm talking about dialogue, lines, just things that were coming out of her mouth. I did not like her. I was just not feeling it, and I just wanted the movie to move on quickly from her. And it kind of did in its own way, but then it brought her back. Not to spoil too much. So yeah, that was the downside of the movie. There were pacing issues, tones, and just like I said, back to the script. I think maybe this is why it took so long, because they didn't want to do a movie until they had a good script. it kind of showed in this movie. It showed like the writing just wasn't there, wasn't on key, wasn't as par as the first Zombieland, and I think that's just what is hard because you can't help but compare. And I try not to compare, but while I'm watching the movie, I'm just going, man, I really like the first one that much more. It was just that much more creative, much more unique, its own thing. And that's why it's so hard to make good sequels, because it's basically trying to go bigger and better than its original. And it doesn't really happen. Sometimes it does, not all the time. But anyway, going back. So yeah, they basically go on this, cross-country moment. I did appreciate one pivotal character that they paid a lot of homage to, because that's kind of the theme with these zombie movies. The first one was Bill Murray. This one, Elvis Presley, which my mom would greatly appreciate, even though probably not going to see this movie. But yes, I love Elvis. I love Elvis Presley. I'm glad that they gave some cool little nod-offs and moments for him, because I'm just an Elvis fan. I mean, who doesn't like Elvis? Come on, right? So anyways, we got a couple new characters. We have Rosario Dawson, and she basically plays the love interest of Woody Harrelson character, who's Tallahassee. So I liked seeing him end up with somebody, or gonna end up with somebody. He needed someone, especially from the first one. Spoiler alert if you didn't see it. We find out his son died, and he had no one until, he got this adoptive family in the movies, and I just like seeing him having a partner. And then it's cool because Wichita and Columbus, yes, they're a couple, they're still a couple. There's moments where they're not a couple in the movie, but they end up getting married, so that was cool to see them kind of unite and have a relationship and know that they're going to work out in the long run. The only downside is the whole point of the story of Little Rock going with a guy, she ends up not with a guy. So she's the only one that's not with someone in this end of this movie. So I don't know if that's like a open door to possibly making one more. But you know what? At this point, I don't want them to make another one. They don't need to make another one. And they really didn't need to make this one. But I feel like, if you like the characters so much and the idea and the story, then it's fun to just kind of explore and, see different people, different survivors, different zombies. Oh, so there's like 4 different new zombies they categorize. So it's not just your bloodthirsty, all the same type of zombies. You got your Homer zombies, which are the really stupid, Homer Simpson exactly type ones. There's the Hawkins, which is referred to Stephen Hawking's, very smart, bright, the brains of the zombies. And then you have the zombie, which was a ninja. They only introduced it once in the beginning of the movie and never showed them again. I have no idea why they did that, but they did. That was a little disappointing. I might want to see more of that. But they did introduce this tough zombie. They called it a T-800 based on the Terminator, the original model of the Terminator for the movies. And it's basically one of the most hardest zombies to kill. They're super tough. And I guess that was cool that they added on different levels and flavors of types of zombies, I guess, to make it more appealing to people. But, all in all, the first Zombieland movie is by far much better. This one wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. It was mediocre. It was somewhere in the middle. So Zombieland 2 Double Tap, I'm going to give this one like a 6.7 out of 10. It was strong in some moments, but weak in a lot of moments. And I just feel like the pacing and just a lot of the dialogue and lines for these, fun characters just wasn't up to par as the first one. But, it did its thing. It was a sequel. And, if you're a huge fan of the first one, I would say definitely go see it. If you're not caring, or just wait. Just wait to see it, on video, or a chance to see it for free. It's not like, oh, you have to go see this movie. But, like I said, if you're a fan, might as well go see it. Add a little layer to more adventures of these guys. But, you know how it is. But yeah, so all right, guys, Zombieland 2, check it out. I will definitely see you guys on the next show. You all have a wonderful day. Take care, and God bless. All right, later. Bye bye.